Yo, what's going on today, guys and girls? Hope you're all having a great week. It's hump day, so right here we've got something really special for you to get through the week before the mid-season event, and it is huge if you couldn't tell by the title. We've all been brainwashed in Verdansk for quite some time now, so let's get right into it. But before we tell you exactly how we've been brainwashed and why, let's get back to when all this started at Season 1. And for all you guys and girls that have been paying attention like us, watching all the cutscenes since the start of the Cold War integration with Warzone, then you can just jump right to the juicy bits if you want. Timestamps are in the description and on the progress bar, alright? So we've seen quite a handful of new operators land in Verdansk, with even Rambo, John McClane, Yippee-ki-yay motherfucker, and possibly even Terminator coming, which to most people makes absolutely no sense, and people think they're getting too much like Fortnite, but we'll explain this as well, as nothing's what you think it is right now in Verdansk. So we saw at the start of Season 1, we were introduced to Victor Kuzmin, also known as Stitch, who appears as a high-ranking Perseus agent with a vendetta for Russell Adler for capturing him, taking his eye, and the invasion and fall of Rebirth Island, which resulted in Stitch being sent to the Gulag, where he quote-unquote found his true calling after being rescued by Perseus. Now you'd expect us to go on talking about the other operators, but to be honest, they don't play anywhere near as a significant role as Stitch, as they're merely rooks, knights and bishops like chess pieces. So at the start of Season 1 with the Cold War and Warzone integration, we seen Russell Adler make his way to the Mall at the Pines to intercept Stitch, in which, by the way, we're going to be saying this a lot, they've literally been throwing it in our faces what was coming next. This Mall at the Pines is littered with references to the movie Back to the Future. First and foremost, the name Mall at the Pines, with the mall in the movie where they perform time travel being called the Lone Twin Pine Mall, depending on what year they were in. So literally, we're about to see some time travel in this quote-unquote flashback that was coming next. Right after this, so in this cutscene, as Adler goes after Stitch, they're actually ambushed inside the mall and a firefight breaks out, resulting in Russell Adler being captured by the Perseus operators. Right after this, we see Adler taken away in a helicopter. Then our next cutscenes begin at the start of Season 2, where operators Rivas, Wolf and Woods are on the scene in Laos, already on the hunt for Adler, long before we were beginning the hunt for Adler. After weeks in Laos, Hudson requests a sit rep from Woods, to which he replies, the Nova 6 was bullshit, a distraction to him, or us. We chased every lead until points to Verdansk, leading us right back to Verdansk. So right after this, coming in with Season 3 cutscenes, we see Wraith and Knight dropping into Mount Yamato with some of the most badass scenes we've seen so far. As they storm the facility and raid the telecoms room, leaving with one tape with a Russian title that translates to the Drokovich Project, also known as the numbers data used in brainwashing sleeper agents such as Alex Mason throughout the full Black Ops history. So after Wraith confirms with Stitch she has the numbers data, Stitch goes on to say what Drokovich only managed with a single subject will do to entire nations, defining their plans to brainwash everyone as he overlooks Verdansk from atop of hospital roof. All the while this has been going on, by the way, in Season 2, we all remember this, the Vodanoy ship, a Soviet freighter, radioing a mayday call that they've encountered atmospheric disturbances after leaving Rebirth Island in 1984. Thereafter, the ship somehow being sucked into the storm and crashed into the south of Verdansk in 2021, and you all know what happened then. Or do you? So as the zombie threat appeared to spread throughout Verdansk, the only hopes of containing it were the works of the operators, until the quote-unquote outbreak was at the point of no return, with missile silos and small parts of the extensive underground network within Verdansk pointing towards us dropping a big fat nuke on Verdansk to contain the outbreak from affecting further. Eventually, we see the computer screens reach 100%, meaning the outbreak can't be contained anymore. Immediately after this, a voice radios in saying, I regret to inform you, Commander, Verdansk has fallen. Containment protocol has been initiated, as we see a nuclear bomb emerging out of the missile hatch and then hitting the ground west of Stadium. Or did we again? And finally, we see everything rewinding as if nothing's happened yet as we go back to Verdansk 1984 and get one final cutscene of this event showing a camera pan through the roof at hospital, panning down overlooking a table, a bloody mess, the Drokovich tapes and a picture of a chair used in the brainwashing. Before moving towards the red door, literally telling us what you're about to see is not real. As numbers data flies out of the door, Stitch tells us you have no idea what's coming. And he couldn't have been more correct, guys. Alright, so this covers pretty much what's been going on since the start of Season 1 with the Black Ops Cold War integration to Warzone. If you haven't caught on to our hints yet, you're probably wondering, what on earth are Gold Conspiracy talking about? Nothing seems out of place, we've just had some weird events. Well, you might want to sit down for this one, because honestly 90% of what's been happening is a complete delusion in our operators' minds, and we've been working for Perseus' agenda without knowing it since the start of Season 1. So let's get started with the evidence that we're tripping out of our minds. In the Gulag. This is where we're all being constantly brainwashed. Instead of being taken to the Gulag showers on basement level 1 of the prison complex, you see we're taken deeper, beyond the Gulag showers, to the Nuketown, first of all, and the standoff Gulag maps. Now you're probably wondering, why is that so important? But if you watch the original Gulag scene, you can see, originally, we're dragged down to the Gulag showers map, then thrown into a cell before having a chance to redeem ourselves and go back to getting wallbanged by hackers in the map. Now when you look at the new Gulag scene, which arrived with Season 1, they're actually taking us down not to level 1 of the original Gulag Showers map, but to level 2. We see this as we pass the original map, where we get dragged into our cell and strapped up to their typical brainwashing chair, sat in front of the TVs and then knocked out, brainwashing us slowly and surely into following this bizarre path of a zombie outbreak threat to give Perseus access to the nuclear weapons again to rebuild Russia from the ashes. But then what about all the zombies? We didn't just imagine that, or did we? Well, remember on June 2nd, 1984, where Rafe and Knight recovered the Drokovich project tapes containing the numbers data used for brainwashing? Although they only took one tape from the facility in Mount Yamato, the communications buildings at Summit have the resources to duplicate as many as they need. So we've looked at the zombie machines that were on our beloved Verdansk just recently, and what we've found is quite disturbing, and shocking that we never realised it sooner. But you can see, as we interact with the computer, above the machine there's a tape player, and as soon as you interact it begins playing the Drokovich tapes, in turn spawning zombies. But really, if most of you are catching on now, it's not been spawning in anything. This has all been in our operators' minds. And now some of you might comment down below, well, what about the Vodanoy ship? So we'll say, if the Vodanoy ship really left Rebirth Island in 1984 and got stuck at sea for all those years, and we're in 1984 right now, we would be able to see the ship from Rebirth Island right now, but there's nothing, because we're in 2021. Captain Price has also somehow came to Verdansk to help in this flashback. However, Captain Price wasn't even born until 1985, making him a stud glint in his dad's eye in 1984. Just a few days ago as well, Call of Duty tweeted a Die Hard reference. I'm sure everybody's seen it, but if not, we're told to email John McClane at Nakatomi and ask about their Christmas party discounts. So this is an Easter egg to something that's coming next with a mid-season crossover event, but upon further inspection, the website states the company was founded in 1988. Bearing in mind, we're supposed to be in 1984, so how are we speaking to someone who's 4 years in the future? Now the juiciest part, that absolutely confirms that we're imagining this whole 1984 Verdansk as the final cutscenes from the Nuke event. So upon further inspection, we noticed that it is actually a nuclear missile that's emerging from the missile silo hatch, but that's not what hits the ground just west of Stadium. What actually hits the ground is just a blank missile, and we're going to show proof of all of this in the next video, guys. We just want to get this out here straight away. Not only this, but we receive one final cutscene, the camera panning down through the hospital roof, which I was telling you about. This shows us what appears to be a torture scene inside the hospital canteen, with some intel for us before bringing us to the infamous red door. Now this is absolute confirmation that we've been brainwashed. Before we're able to see Verdansk 1984, we have to go through the red door at the end of the cutscene with the numbers data blasting at us. For anybody that's not played the Black Ops campaign, by the way, the red door is used as a trigger, a method to make people remember things and give up that information to the Puppet Master, just like Adler did to Bill. And so that pretty much sums it up, guys. Perseus has been brainwashing the operators of Verdansk into working for their organisation like little pawns. Now I know this is probably a huge shock to everyone, maybe not some of you, and I'm going to speak to these people at the end of the video because we want you, but the only thing left to answer now is why. Well, in the first Cold War and Warzone cutscenes we received, and then even cutscenes from the Cold War campaign, we see Perseus and Stitch talking of how they'll nuke Russia when they're safe on the island of Solovetsky. They'll rebuild Russia from the ashes under Perseus' leadership. And this is all coming full circle now, guys. With the threat of the outbreak, we've just given Perseus the keys to the underground city of Verdansk, and more on this in another video because it is huge. Now Perseus has complete access to the bunkers and the nuclear weapons. Didn't anyone think it was a little bit strange how we just forgot the codes and where to find the key cards to the bunkers, even although they would have existed in 1984? They've completely blocked it from our memory, so we can't catch them in the act right now. But I have some good news. As we're approaching mid-season 3, we should see a chaotic crossover type event where we'll go underground, enter the salt mines, the old mine, out of service subway lines, bunkers, hatches and silos to fight Perseus and regain control of Verdansk. But will we make it in time, or will this be how the real new map is revealed? So let us know in the comments. Don't be shy if you guys want us to cover some other things as well that you're curious about. If it's in Verdansk, then we've got some intel on it. So, just wrapping that up, before we leave you brilliant people, I said I was going to speak to some others like us that are passionate about cracking Easter eggs. So if this isn't you, then the only thing left for you to do right now is hit that like button, show some love in the comments if you've got it, and hit that subscribe button to make sure you're first in the know in your squad. Alright, now our Easter egg crackers. We've created a Discord server that you can join. The server isn't big, and we want to keep it that way for now. So we won't be letting everyone in, but you can apply and everyone will be considered equally. But just be aware, this time we won't be taking in people that aren't contributing to cracking new cases in Call of Duty. So there'll be a time for the rest, of course. The rest will have to just check in with the YouTube and Twitter for the latest, and once we've got some more financial resources behind us as we're growing, we'll start to open up the server with more options for people that want to come in and might not be contributing as much. But just remember for now, we're only looking for people that are bringing some deducing skills to the table, okay? Also, guys and girls, one last side note before we go. It's Mental Health Awareness Week here in the UK, so just a friendly reminder, take care of each other. It's been a roller coaster the last year, so make sure you're taking care of yourself first and foremost. If you can't help yourself, you can't help anybody else. Alright, that's it for now. Look out for the next video where we'll show you every piece of evidence we've compiled to support this, and we'll see you there. Take care guys, and remember, hit that like button if you liked it, type that comment if you've got something to say, and hit that subscribe button so you're first in the know. We're about to expose everything in Modern Warfare 2019, Cold War and Warzone. Alright, see you guys and girls later.